away from Americans and limit their access
Dr. Herbert, try and control yourself just for a couple of minutes.
Okay, you're saying so many things that are untrue.
I will give you a chance to talk in just a moment.
The agency attempted to limit access to truthful information about these products. The resulting regulations, the resulting legislation and the regulations that came from them, if I can quote the current commissioner, Dr. Jane Haney, what she has told a congressional committee is that the regulations as they exist today provide sufficient legal authority to protect the public health.
Let me just have you address directly something Dr. Herbert said about ephedrine.
Yeah.
Do you accept the notion that some people have died as a direct consequence of taking ephedrine?
No, I don't. I do, however, recognize that ephedra is an herb that needs to be treated with respect, and that's why the dietary supplement industry established meaningful self-regulations that limit the dosage, that require specific labeling cautions on all ephedra products. We've shared those ideas with FDA and requested that they adopt a similar regulatory control.
When you say effective self-regulation, the fact of the matter is the law does not require you, even if there were a death or more than one death as a direct consequence of taking one of these products, the law does not require you to inform the FDA, does it?
The law does require us to fully inform consumers of all material information.
Would you try and answer my question directly? Yes. The law does not require you to inform the FDA, does it?
The law, I believe you're accurate, does not require, but it would be just unbelievable if a manufacturer had any evidence that its product had, in fact, produced a serious adverse event, to think that they would not.
Well, I mean, we already have a disagreement of fact between you and Dr. Herbert, and I want to go back to Dr. Herbert for a moment now. You said with some certainty just a few moments ago that indeed more than one person had died from the use of ephedra, and I asked you at that time, do you know that to be the case? Do you have evidence to support that? You said yes. What evidence?
There are a number of dead people whose cases have been reported to the state of Texas and to the FDA, and you can get them from the records of the Texas Health Department and from the records of the FDA.
There are dead people in every state at all times.
I'm not talking about from ephedra.
And what, there is a coroner's report saying they died from ephedra?
No, the coroner's report says they died from heart damage.
No causal relationship has ever been shown.
That is a lie.
In any instance.
That is a lie.
It simply has not.
That is a lie.
Well,
there are two cases right now that I know of people who are suing the sellers of their ephedra caffeine products for severe heart damage brought about by taking those products.
All right, we're going to have to take a break. Let me just point out that simply because they're suing, they haven't won their suit yet, have they? They haven't won it yet. I know of two suits that have been won. I'm talking now about two suits which are currently in court. Okay, let's take a short break and we'll be back with our guests in a moment.
What's your lucky number? It could be 72. Once you hit the 72-hour sale at Sears, 3 big days that will change the look of your home. You can really clean up on all big brand name appliances with an extra 10% cash back. Like this Kenmore washer, you'll save way more than just pocket change. If it bubbles, boils, or chills, we've got your number. The 72-hour sale at Sears. A good life at a great price, guaranteed.
To talk, to listen, or just to let loose. That's the power of two. Introducing Sprint 1000. 1,000 minutes of long distance for just $20 a month. That's as low as 2 cents a minute. Every night or all weekend long. The choice is yours. That's the power of two. Anything more would be too much. Switch to Sprint 1000 at 1-800-PIN-DROP.
Call now for local phone service
and put it all together with Sprint.
Coming up,
Here comes the politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Dana Carvey on dating.
Women have this thing about very handsome men. I used to get it a lot.
Politically incorrect with Bill Maher. This planet we call Earth, abundant with new food, new cures, new life. An amazing place. Please don't let it vanish without a trace. Call for your free World Wildlife Fund Action Kit with 10 simple things you can do to help leave our children a living planet. Call 1-800-CALL-WWF.
News Source 13 throughout the day. Throughout the years. The people of News Source 13. Truly, more local news, more local experience.
And we're back once again with Dr. Victor Herbert and Michael McGuffin. Mr. McGuffin, what distinguishes a dietary supplement from any other kind of drug?
Well, a dietary supplement is simply classified different in the regulatory model, but the issues that were raised in some of the early commentary about the need to regulate these as drugs is simply not the right approach to the regulation.
Could we at least begin with your trying to answer my question? What distinguishes a dietary supplement from any other drug that may be on the market and that is subject to FDA approval?
Well, okay, a dietary supplement is defined as a vitamin, mineral, amino acid, or herb that's used to supplement the diet, and a drug is defined as a substance that's used to treat, cure, mitigate, prevent disease.
And Dr. Herbert, how does one distinguish whether one of these products is a dietary supplement or purports to be able to do something on its own?
It's all semantics, Ted. They're all drugs, but the Hatch Act, the Snake Oil Supplement Act, says that if the product is found in nature, in any dose, in any quantity, anywhere in the world, you can sell it as a supplement.
That's not true.
That you're lying. Not only can you sell it as a supplement,
I'll tell you what, Dr. Herbert, I admire your enthusiasm, but maybe we can keep the charges of lying down a little bit.
All right.
What would be a sensible way, Dr. Herbert, of finding some kind of a compromise here? In other words, if the FDA, for example, were given more money so that it could hire more people, so that it could do more investigating, wouldn't that be a step in the right direction?
The sensible thing would be for the FDA to be given the funding to do what the German Commission does. The German equivalent of the FDA has a phytochemical division. That is a division for studying herbs. And they require anybody who sells an herb in Germany to meet specific standards for quantity of certain specific active ingredients per dose.
Let me interrupt you only because we're down to our last few seconds, and I'd like to give Mr. McGuffin the last word. What would be wrong with that sort of a model?
Well, we've adopted elements of that model. We've certainly adopted some of the findings of the Commission that Dr. Herbert's referring to, but I don't believe that the regulations in our country already work well to protect consumer health and to protect consumer access, and that's what they were designed to do.
Dr. Herbert, we've got about 20 seconds left, and you've got the last word now. Go ahead. We had a little more than I thought.
The bottom line, St. John's wort causes people with AIDS to die of their AIDS because it knocks out the efficacy of the protease inhibitors that help them.
I thought everybody died of AIDS, eventually.
No, not anymore.
No one has been cured of AIDS, to the best of my knowledge.
It depends on your definition of cure. There are a lot of people who never get the clinical disease or whose clinical disease is in remission probably forever. But the point is that St. John's wort prevents the protease inhibitors from inhibiting the growth of the AIDS virus. It prevents oral contraceptives from working. So women taking oral contraceptives who take St. John's wort, become pregnant because it doesn't work. It prevents other drugs like digitalis from working properly.
What Dr. Herbert's
and not only
referring
that,
to,
but ginkgo is an anticoagulant. There was just recently a report
Gentlemen,
in,
I can't stretch the time any longer than it is, but Mr. McGuffin, I have to give you a chance to come back with a very quick comment.
Well, what Dr. Herbert, I think, is pointing out is that there is specific information about specific herbs that does need to be made available to consumers. I agree with that. Our trade association has worked very diligently to
It's not on your label.
Hold it,
ginkgo.
Dr. Herbert, hold it, please.
But this wholesale approach to that we should throw away all of the regulations and start over doesn't make any sense. We need to look at the specific information about specific substances, because the rules for chamomile are going to be different than the caution that you might put on, as Dr. Herbert has pointed out, the St. John's wort product.
Unsatisfactory as that may be to Dr. Herbert, that's going to have to be the last word. I thank you both very much for joining us. Good of you to come in. If you have questions for Michael McGuffin, you can chat with him online at abcnews.com tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll be back in a moment.
The Batmobile is jet-powered, bulletproof, fireproof, and reaches speeds over 300 miles per hour. Could we possibly improve on it? Yes.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman?
It's all the help you'll need on the road. Win a trip to Warner Brothers Studios in L.A. Play the Batman Challenge at www.onstar.com.
This week at IBM.com, we're talking about the IBM Web Starter Kit. For $499, IBM will design and build your website, register your domain name, and give you 6 months hosting. So in no time, you can have a professionally designed website about anything you want. Clothing, travel.
Doll houses, and little mini bake ovens. A little jewelry kit, you know, with little beads, and you can make what? You never played with those?
The critics have been taken by storm. The Perfect Storm is a milestone in filmmaking, a wonder to behold. The Perfect Storm, rated PG-13, now playing at a theater near you.
Eric.
Oh, hey there, what's that?
We need to talk. You're dating now, and, well, this is a big night, and, well, you need to be prepared. So I got you something, in case you need it.
No, I'm not gonna need it.
Burned it myself.
CD recorder.
Timeless music.
Clarion CD car deck. And music that bridges the generation gap.
Turn on the fun, let's buy.
At Clover's half-off Great American Sale, you'll save up to 50% on everything in stock, including a 5-person Super Cal Spa, only $24.99. Save up to 70% off Clover's list price on casual furniture. Plus, you'll get huge savings on Weber gas grills, too. Only at Clover.
The new Corning Museum of Glass is a place where glass will blow your mind. Science, history, and just plain fun. The Corning Museum of Glass. Be there.
Tomorrow on Good Morning America, a member of the rescue team which has been trying to save the penguins caught in an oil spill off South Africa. That's our report for tonight. I'm Ted Koppel in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Tomorrow, it's a children's book sensation, but there are critics. Why the Harry Potter series may be the most debated books on your child's shelf. Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
The hole-in-one. Tiger Woods defends his title Saturday at the...